If this is your first time on this call, this is welcome to the pre-London markup call. We about to go ahead and go live with this. About to go ahead and go live with this. I'm gonna go ahead and just share what I'm seeing in the marketplace for the rest of this week, from today till pretty much Thursday, because we're pretty much midweek. Most of the times, markets like the reverse. So once again, if you're brand new, this is a pre-London market live analysis. Feel free to drop any charts, questions you have in the chats as is, and definitely go ahead, have fun with this, guys. Honestly, really just have fun with the vibes and really share your ideas in the group chats. And I mean in the chat box right here. And I'll feel free to just go ahead and look at them and see if it's the same thing that I'm looking at, right? But I'll go ahead and just start off with a BTC, Ethereum, and then I'm going to jump into the Forex charts, because I know a lot of you guys are excited for the foreign exchange charts. And most of the times, how I go over my charts and analysis is going to just go ahead. It's gonna sum it out around pretty much me using the smart money concept and Wyckoff, right? That's mainly how I view the markets. I view the markets in a really smart money method and Wyckoff concepts. If you guys already have seen how I'm trading, how I'm dropping the charts, you guys already know where I learned it from. It's nothing new. I watch the same educators. It hasn't changed, right? Rob Coomer and John Dollery from Study. A lot of Jordan Morgan as well. But along the lines of all those educators mixed together, you won't go wrong with your education. So just to know that, yes, I know how to mark up the charts. Yes, I know how to view all this in my own way, with what I've learned. But just know that anything that I've learned here, you can go ahead and learn it too and apply it for yourself. But you have to actually apply the information and just dive into the charts, right? So welcome. Let's get right into it. I'm going to jump right into BTC. And really just see what's going on over here. I'm going to give you guys my perspective on what I'm seeing in the chart. So a lot of people are seeing maybe reversals, markets jumping out the gym. I know a lot of people are kind of excited and scared at the same time what they're seeing in the crypto markets. And I want to kind of reassure you guys, but also give you guys the clear viewpoint. You guys are seeing me zoom out time frames, and I really want to make sure everyone just sees the whole perspective of what this is, right? The whole perspective of what this is and how I'm seeing this. Very simply so, BTC going to the moon. Not BTC actually going to the moon. People are saying BTC going to the moon, right? But as I'm seeing structure, I want to just have everyone keep in mind what I'm seeing in structure is very simple. I'm seeing a big M here on a structure base. Right? I'm seeing a big M here on a structure base. And as I'm seeing M form up, right? As I'm seeing this M form up and really display itself right here, we've seen a big M. We've seen price coming to clear liquidities, failing to hold, institutional levels. And I want us to be able to look at this and be, okay, look, we're on a weekly level. We know what happens when we break it. Normally we test it back. We test back that same weekly level. That's like about maybe 33 or about 32, right? From the opening price of this last up candle. And we could potentially test that on a weekly level and then continue dropping all the way to $20,000, right? Then all the way to, the 886. If I zoom in here, this is where previously that last bull run happened, where we hit 20K that initial first time, right? So given that we could see price dip right back into here, coming to that $18,000 to that $16,000 mark, that's an aggressive sell. Like, I don't believe price is ready to go up just yet. I just want everybody to be mindful of this. And I know a lot of you guys are watching the education as well and getting educated. It's a great time to be on Go Live and on the platform as well that we're a part of. But just as far as my viewpoint, as far as just trading confirmation wise, I'm seeing this technical analysis keep sweeping the lows. I'm seeing this really go ahead and continuing. And everybody could take advantage of this sell. Don't sit in the standstill and think that you can't do nothing. You could take advantage of market rolling over to the lows and sell down with the market on MT4 or futures, right? And from there, gain capital to buy back once the market is at a low point, once it reaches a point of a support, right? A point of interest where it wants to now give us that reversal back. But I'm really seeing this drop all the way back to this 50% level. I know this sounds scary, guys, but like, ladies and gentlemen, it may sound scary, but the last down candles don't lie, right? They don't leave these things in the market for no reason. Last down candle here, it falls back into the 50% 618 from the past. This is possible. Is it all going to happen one time? It easily could happen. This is last weekly wick, right? This is about like that's an $8,000 candle, right? So we could see a $10,000 wick into 20,000, and then after that, into that level. It's all going to happen progressively as the weeks go by, I believe. But let's not forget that, you know, break of structure is a break of structure. We broke in this structure. That was a weekly point where market is supposed to bounce. So by default, we should be looking for sales. I want to make sure everyone got that as far as BTC is concerned, because when we look at it on BTC, right, I want to make sure you guys see from BTC, and if I transition now to Ethereum, you're going to see a similar play, right? When I transition from BTC, right, and I go all the way up to Ethereum, you guys are going to be able to see a very similar play happen on it, right? But I'm going to go down to lower time frame so we can get up a trade. We can get a trade. So over here, we already had a break of structure, right? So I was playing down on a weekly time frame that, you know, we did not hold this point of interest. So we could see price come back into, you know, 50% of this. That's about 32,500. Now, I'm aware of this is within this gray box, that weekly point of interest. I can now go into the lower time frame and see what is there, right? What's going on in that zone? What's going on in that zone, and how can I take advantage of the market, and how can we all benefit from the market doing exactly what it's doing right now, right? And I'm seeing this. I'm like, okay, we had clear break of structure. You know, market can only do so much. We're on a daily right now, so let me zoom in for you guys on the daily. So I'm seeing last up candles before the down moves being tested. I'm seeing that there's this or that space that we're looking at, right? The opening price of that candle on a weekly. The shaded gray is the opening price, 50% of it. And I'm sure Danny's gonna call the trade on Swipecoin as well. I have no doubt about it. Because we end up all seeing the same things. I'm gonna just go down to a lower time frame just to see what's really happening in detail. Okay, we wicked down, we pulled up. To me, we're still following our trend as far as, you know, if we look at structure wise, guys. Structure wise, lower highs and lower lows, you know, lower highs, you know, this came here, it cleared out. That's inner liquidity. We broke below this low. I just feel like price could just keep rolling over, but at the same time, like as it is here, right? I've identified, you guys can see I've identified a point of interest here on a 1 hour where I'm seeing price could like run into here or hold and, you know, push up. That's a point of interest. I'm gonna get down to that soon, but I just want to give you guys the perspective where can we continue selling. Even if this pulls up, like just see it as, okay, we're pulling up to just sell down and make big bucks, right? Like I'll be really honest with you guys, ladies and gentlemen, like this is really how it's going to go about. So last up candle for the prior down movement, we have a 4 hour point of interest. I'm going to zoom into it. Whether you can use a GAN box or this, right? You can either use a GAN box or the fibs. And only reason is like this. If you don't know how I did this, you could simply go on your Fibonacci, right? The tool on the side right here, pull it up, and you can uncheck everything and just leave it as such. And that's pretty much the settings, if you did not know. There you go. So if I stretch this out, you can see the last up candle for the down move after clearing this liquidity here, right? And we've now broken below this low. Like price wants to go down clearly, but we only tested the opening price. We have not gotten to 50%. And we can stretch into this, right? So given that we already got an opening a couple of times, I believe price can now come to the 50%, right? Giving us this point of entry, stop loss below like right above this highs. And if this were to blow over,
There should be an ashtray behind you. No, it's actually in your.
This one will be over. Let me get everybody on mute real quick. If you guys have questions, feel free to drop question and then unmute yourselves, for sure. But for now, on here you guys can see perspective wise, just going all the way down, and this this goes beyond. This is like a more long term. Like I haven't even zoomed into lower time frame. This goes beyond the level of right here, right? Let me see if I can zoom this in for you guys, right? This goes beyond the level that we're seeing right now. Like this sell that you guys can catch here this week, like midweek reversal, right? We're getting into Thursday, right? So we've been playing around sideways for a little bit, right? Since about like the 16th, right? We've been playing around, moving sideways, right? So the sell I'm expecting is can go this deep, right? It could even go as deep as reaching $15,000, right? On BTC. But meanwhile, you guys can just ride this wave, right? From the top. Just smart money wise, 50% of that. Or once price reaches into this gray area, we're gonna see price distribute. Price is either gonna give us a wick or it's gonna distribute. When I say distribute, it just means price is gonna move sideways. So if I use my paintbrush right here and I kind of just paint it out, when price gets to this gray area, this is kind of what's gonna happen. On a lower time frame, or like on a 15 minutes or an hour, you guys are gonna see price do something like this. It's already doing it right here on a 4-hour time frame, right? And we getting the test, but we haven't gotten 50% of the test. So far we got this. I want this to happen or that to happen, and then we get this, right? Is it gonna happen like on the go like that? It should just more so happen like this. We get lower highs, lower lows, and et cetera, and as we write it down. That's how I'm seeing BTC play right now, ladies and gents. Like this is sexy. I'm sure other people see this. I'm sure educators have seen this. Just go back and go live and visit them, or just go on a scalper. You see similar things going on here. Now, someone can tell me, "Oh, well, Ralph, I see a potential buy possibility." So now that I've gone down from the 4-hour, let me not confuse anybody right now. I hope everybody's following me now. Let me drop a 111 in the chat. If you following me so far on BTC analysis, I'll make sure I haven't lost anybody. Help me drop a 111 in the chat box. Awesome. I got you guys. So right here on BTC, last up candle for a down move. That's what I was seeing on the 4-hour. Let me go ahead and also identify it as so. Just for the sake of having it identified, 4-hour last up candle. I like to see it as 4-hour IC, right? And over here, we're gonna now jump into the 2-hour and then jump into the 1-hour, right? 1-hour time frame. And as we go down to these lower time frames, I want to help you guys notice something on my screen, right? We see all this liquidity. Like this market is moving sideways. Market has already broke. Like market has been selling, right? Which has been showing a sign of okay, this is inner liquidity that got sweep here. Lower highs maintaining. We're like the structure overall, that trend line, right? Like a lot of people like to trade the trend, right? So that trend line that most people love to see is currently still happening right now, right? That trend line, like people love that trend. It's happening in different time frames, and even right here, it's happening as well. So I'm seeing this. This could potentially do two things: drop first, right, into this area, right? And given that, right, this is, mind you, this is going to be the last down candle before the prior movement, right? Last down candle before the prior movement. We could catch this. BTC could give a wick, and like anyone can easily catch this if they're available or if they even put the notifications to catch it. So right here. So from here to here, I'm looking at it about 6:30. If you're getting from the opening price, you can put your stop loss to the wick, or the body, of course, just the body of that. Take it for 4-1, 3-1, as you wish. But like logically, if I were to get it from this low, I would just go for my 5-1, go for 1,000 pips, get that 1,000 pip retracement, because mind you, the way BTC is moving right now, you're gonna easily get that 1,000 pip retracement. Like if it's nothing, you like if it reacts on a on a smart money standpoint, you're gonna get that instant reaction, 1,000 pip reaction, 2,000 pip reaction, and even if it just brings you back to these point of interest that we spoke about right here. Because so far, what are we closest to, right? So, like I'm just looking at it. What are we closest to? This is 1,900 pips away, and this is right here. This is 1,600 pips away. We're actually closer to this right now. If not, we're about 2,000 pips from that after it blows the stop. So it's just to set an alert on both ends to see, okay, what are we gonna do when the market gets there? Or you can set a limit. Personally, I would not set a limit for both. I would set a limit for one and then play one, and then if one is going great, I'll just catch a retracement and keep following up with a movement. Right. If we go down to lower time frames now, I don't even feel like going down that low. But you guys can, I just want to show you guys the possibility of, if you want to lower your stop, you can at that point. Fix my screen. At that point, if you want to get, this is the last down candle for the prior movement. I identified this on a 1 hour. This is a 30-minute. On the 15-minute as well, the bottom of this, right, is the bottom of this candle is your opening price for the 15 minutes. I'm going to go on a 15 just so you guys can have the observation of what I saw earlier on the charts. Right here. So I'm seeing a last down candle right here for the prior movement. So this is a point, like this is an area where someone can enter. Instead of entering at 2720, right? 27,200, you'd be able to enter at 26,000, about 900, right? Lower stop, better risk to reward, more chance to, capitalize in the marketplace. But to be honest, personally, I just want to make sure that I'm in the trade, right? So I'm not too worried about the lower time frame, because if I'm in the trade and the trade goes the direction I need it to go, I won't need to worry about exactly what's my entry. So I'll just say keep in mind for this zone here and keep in mind for here. I'm gonna jump right on the Ethereum so we don't spend much time on this. And you guys are gonna notice pretty much the same system playing out, right? The same system really just playing out the way it needs to play out, right? So now going on Ethereum right now. I'm jumping away from BTC. I want to make sure everyone got this set up right. Let me drop an arrow right here. Drop an arrow. Potential buy. And take a screenshot. I'm trading view. If you guys didn't know, you guys have to take a picture, send it to your friends, family members, like, or people on the team, so you can get confirmation, or myself, or if you guys see the same thing. Even on Go Live, if you're on Go Live with educators, you can actually take a picture of what you're seeing in the charts and send them, and they'll be able to make a comment. It's even better to have their advice than my advice. Like, I got their advice first. You get me? Like, that's the way to go. That's really the way to go. So I'm gonna drop this in the chat as well here, so you guys can have this, just a perspective of what I'm seeing, and also drop it in the Wealth Empire group chats as well. Now jumping on Ethereum right off before I get right into the Forex and indices. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Let me delete this, copy paste all that. This was fun. Let me just see what was I looking at. Oh, that was fun. That was a fun play. I was playing with this last week. So let me go ahead and delete all of this. We don't need that. Thank you. So I'm gonna jump right into the weekly time frame, just the same way we broke down BTC, reset my chart. I just want to make sure you guys have clear vision of what I'm seeing, right? So just follow through with me, right? Follow through with me. The same way we're looking at BTC is what we're seeing here. Like, so if I just so we can have a perspective wise, so I'm gonna jump right on BTC so you guys can see it. Okay, so this is the chart. Excuse me. So you guys see BTC right here. BTC is here. See the structure. Okay, we're gonna go right on Ethereum. You guys are gonna see the same structure. Right, you guys see that same structure? Crazy, right? Bitcoin is a little bit ahead of the curve, right? So given that it's ahead of the curve, we can take advantage and be ahead with Ethereum, right? Because Ethereum hasn't fully made it to where BTC is on this fall. But at the end of the day, if this falls the way it's I see it falling, to be honest, like the way I see it falling. I'm just based off what I'm seeing on the chart and what I've learned, the education that's taught me. I'm seeing this like forget about my emotions and all that. Like I personally don't want Ethereum to go down there because I'm invested into it, right? I have money, I have Ethereum, and a lot of us do, right? But I'm seeing a clear imbalance right here on a weekly, and they don't leave these things for no reason. It'll come into it and it'll go, right? If I zoom in just right here on a weekly time frame, we see how this impulsive move that we all thought, okay, yeah, Ethereum is gonna start going right back up, right? It hit an imbalance right here on a daily time frame, right? I was able to catch a nice trade on this level, and it started to roll over, right? The stock started to keep. I didn't think we were going to keep selling that deep, but look at where we are now. We're on a weekly last down candle, right? We've already had an initial wick reaction, body closed, still at the opening price, and now opened up. It didn't open up bullish, it opened up bearish on a weekly level, right? And we looks like now this candle by the end of the week is going to go ahead and fill and fully clear the liquidity below here. What BTC has already done. So just knowing that, now we're midweek, like they were playing around the whole week right here, right? Holding price right here. Because let's remember, the week opened up right here at about 2,000, excuse me, I was about to say 21,000, but it's 2,100, right? So just looking on a higher time frame perspective and just being logical with it, we open up right here on Sunday, and we haven't we haven't moved that much yet compared to what happened last week, right? And we're looking at it, we've only moved like 1,400 pips, literally 1,400 pips from market open to about like where actually 1,800 pips from where market open to like right now, right? 1,800 pips, right? So given that's the case, I can now zoom into lower time frames, catch the sell, right? Catch the sell down because this clearly wants to keep going like this. Yes, the wick held, but we opened and closed, and we're still following the movement. And look at this clear liquidity. We got money sitting here. A lot of money is sitting there. So what does the market want to do? It's either wants to rebalance or is seek and destroy. If you trade smart money or just the concept of Wyckoff, you know we're about to seek liquidity. Where you know we're about to go hunting for money. You know we're about to go hunting for stop losses. People who thought we were never going to make it back here. But look, if we look back, this is where we broke out of. We broke out of 1,420. We held that zone, and prices coming in right after that zone. And I wouldn't be surprised if it broke past it and went all the way down to $800. I'll be a happy camper. I'll just buy more Ethereum, right? I'll be hurt a little bit, but I'll just buy more Ethereum. But meanwhile, us as traders, we can trade this all the way down, right? We have an amazing tool like the scalper that we can use to trade this down. But as far as just using a smart money concept to just position yourself, right? It's fun. And you guys can notice I don't really delete my charts because these things just happen. I want to be able to follow up to where I was, what my thought process was like. And you guys can see like, okay, daily time frame, this hit, sold. Like it didn't give me back that second test that I wanted, but from this daily point, it sold. All right. So now we're on a 4 hour, and I'm looking at this. We're currently right here in price. Price looks like okay, we're accumulating, right? We're accumulating. I don't believe price is gonna make it back anywhere here. It doesn't have time to. It's not even able to. As far as structure goes, as far as it would go, it would be maybe here. But if this is following the same structure as BTC, right? If this is following the same structure as BTC, I want you guys to just look at it as pretty much this, right? Right. Look at this if this is really just following the same structure as BTC, this is kind of dangerous, right? So that's some kind of for a down move. Liquidity has been swept, right? Yeah, liquidity has been swept. We'll hold on to this 4 hour, stretch it. So we have opening price, 50% has tested already. Price has already rolled over. Can price pull back, fall into imbalances here? It probably could. We have a 4 hour candle here as well. that has not been tested. So there's possibilities for like a wick up pullback. But let's drop down to lower time frame. Let's do the investigation together. And as I drop down right now, and I'm on a 1 hour. Okay, we came down to this low. We're holding. Let's see what the 2 hour looks like real quick. So just it's a series of doing investigations. Okay, now let me jump down from the hour, go to the 30 minutes, see what I'm seeing there. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is interesting. So this wick here. So there's room for price to really go down, but at the same time, price may just give us a wick down, right? Hold, it may still hold this point of interest right here and pull back. And like, let's just look at it together on 30 minutes. There's a lot of imbalances here, holding itself. Several point of interest where price can now okay come up to if it's able to just hold, okay, let's say it comes down and it holds just this zone right here, right? Last down candle for the up move, 50% of this, and it holds like 1925. Price could potentially start pushing up, hold, and if we're able to make it back to this wick, I'm just putting everybody aware of it. I'm not saying it's gonna happen right now. I don't even know when it's gonna happen or how it's gonna happen, but because I'm able to see it, it probably could happen, right? And they like to come from where you don't expect. This wick already was beautiful. They held a couple of positions here before dropping out the market, but it will be perfect because now they've already taken majority of the market out. Clear liquidity here, hit people's stop loss here. All they're missing is to hit this stop loss right here. Once they hit this stop loss, they could give us another bounce back up. And then the sell from there would be the decisive sell. But now, let's be real. If we do break below this zone right here, right, this is about 1726. This is 1760, right? And we also have right here, we have 1880. We have 1880 and 1760. So if it breaks and close, for those of you guys that are not aware, means it breaks the candle, like the candlestick fully breaks through, holds the area, like, and opens up again. That'll be like a full sell-off right into this zone that it could potentially hold at that 1760 level. That'll be a scalp to a swing. Because if I take my ruler and just measure it up for you guys, right? Now that's about 1,200 pips for free, right? Literally for free. So I really just set an alert for a break of the zone for the sell down, right? If ever price decides to pull up, you would have already capitalized on at least a 3-to-1, right? 3-to-1 meaning you're risking 1 for 3, right? On your chart, given that that's your risk to reward, you'd be already out with profits. If market decides to decide to pull back, don't chase the sell. Ride the new wave that it creates, or wait for that main wave and just continue selling. There's multiple positions. I'm going to identify just visually for you guys to see, but you guys need to go back on your own charts, ladies and gentlemen, and just catch it. Like last up candle for the down move, like my eyes, like I see these things. Like it's if we don't make it up there, like these are the zones, right? Imbalance right here, like these are the zones. It's like it's so visible that you can't unsee it once you know they're there, right? You really can't unsee it once you know they're there. And I really believe these things are really possible. And price may not even make it down to that low. It may just decide to hold and then starts running up the wave. So just be cautious and follow through with what the market is showing you, right? But personally right now, and I really just believe everyone should just focus on a higher time perspective, but to each their own and to how you trade, right? To each their own and how you trade. If you don't necessarily trade on a higher time frame, don't start trading on a higher time frame. But this is what I'm seeing overall happening with Ethereum. Us continuing to roll over. I'd like to see a nice sell from the top right there. If we can make it there somehow, right? And then drop down all the way to the floor. And when I mean to the floor, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about to minimum at least back to 1,400, right? Even all the way to 800. If you're courageous enough to hold it. If not, take your bag and run. Like don't let the markets take your money from you, right? That's really what I'm seeing as far as BTC and Ethereum. I'm gonna jump right into the Forex pairs right now that I'm currently trading and looking at. And if you guys have specific Forex pairs you guys are looking at yourselves, feel free to share. That way I'll take a look at it as well and give my perspective of what I'm seeing. So most of the times, me and Raw Coomer and I have the same setups as him. Like I mark up my charts before going on his sessions just to make sure that I know what I'm saying. Just to make sure I know what I'm saying and I'm actually doing the right thing. So I always go on a session like a student, so I can keep learning from my mentors, right? So over here, I'm gonna go right on to where is this chart? I'm gonna go right onto the indices real quick. Jump over to the indices, then spend the rest of the time on Forex. So anybody trading indices, overall, I can't even like we're still selling, obviously, like the seller still is very visible. Like as far as 4 hour structure, lower highs are being created. But within each structure, like you saw how price brought us sideways over here, but on a higher time frame, price is just bringing us sideways for another big rally down that it wants. It's going to try to scare us with a big move up, but definitely the rally down is going to be to be expected. Obviously, here I'm seeing clear signs of imbalance on a 1 hour, right, on a 4 hour time frame. Clear signs of imbalance right up here, but the fact is that we're not up there right now. Like that's just simple fact. We're not up there no more. We're not involved in this market as it is. Price came to some liquidity. If we're looking at this, we have the last down candle, right? Last down candle for the up move. You can use the GAN box or this. And this is pretty much the play that's happening as of right now until tomorrow morning. It may be a little different by the morning time. Higher time frame, this is how NAS is being played right now and as we speak. So last down candle for the prior movement, we have the opening price. I'm currently not in this, right? But this is how I know some people are currently playing NAS 100, right? Like, and some are even waiting for it to hit like some are waiting for it to hit London session for them to actually decide what direction they want to play and hold it in. Because once it hits London, it's gonna start taking the new move for the pre-London New York to set up, right? If I turn on right here, this indicator, this is John Phibbs London, New York indicator, right there, John Phibbs. And what happens oftentimes, what I notice most of the times that markets will come back into these zones, right? Into these zones where price last opens within those sessions, test the zone, and then continue about its business. Most of the time, if we look at how this is playing out, that's what we're seeing. They're playing catch up and they're playing tag. Right. So let's just let's do what the market is doing. So we see last up candle, last down candle for the prior down, right? Before the prior up movement, excuse me. Entering here, your stop loss would be at that point, right? 50% of the box. Then you can take it up to, okay, first imbalance right here, of course. We have the first imbalance here on the 2 hour. We have another imbalance right above. If we go down on the 1 hour now, if we go on a 1 hour now and I jump down, you guys can see other possibilities. Like you guys see, okay, imbalances here, imbalances here. This last up candle here is price. Like, do we even need price to go that high? All we need is a 3-to-1, 3-to-1, and this is what price is pretty much able to give you, right? Over here, you can see as well. There's a last prior down candle. This could get played. This will be a fast play, and I wouldn't say don't bet your money on it in the sense where the markets are gonna come there, is gonna react. You're gonna be able to get your quick reaction, like maybe 100, 200 pips out of it. If that's where price wants to really use, if price really wants to use that point of interest and now go from that point, it can, but just be mindful that if it's gonna come that low, there's a higher possibility price just wants to just sweep. Then after the sweep is gonna now start doing retracements back up to coming back to this a zone of where the sessions open and closed last, because I really believe by the time we wake up or other people wake up, we're gonna be see price trading in between this zone towards Friday, and then moving forward from there, guys. So that's really what I'm seeing on NAS. Be patient for it. If you guys are gonna catch the sells, and let's say we don't make it all the way up there, and you guys want to catch sells or retracements, these are all areas you guys want to pay attention to. As of right now, like you just really want to just pay attention to it, because price may not make it to certain areas, but price will always come to point of interest. And if it's to continue selling, it will continue selling. If it's continue buying, you will just look for a last down candle for that buy continuation, or you look for your sell continuation, right? And mind you, London session is around the corner. These are really close point of interest, and so far price is displaying, just waiting for something to happen, right? Someone can enter right here, have lower stop loss, right? A lower stop loss, better risk reward, all that good stuff. But I'm just showing you guys overall how to go about just getting into the market, getting your foot in, so you can go about, securing your own bag, right? So what I'm seeing relatively here on NAS, you're going to be able to see it reflect on XPX. You're going to be able to see it reflect on US 30 oftentimes as well. Yeah, oftentimes as well, you're going to see it react on both. So if I go here, hourly time frame, let me move this indicator right here. So hourly time frame right here, last out, like for me, my eyes kind of just plot it. As you guys can see, I haven't even marked it up. I just see it, and then I mark it, and then if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's like I'm more so set an alert and then make it plain, right? But so far we came here, we've had where we fell into an imbalance here on a 1 hour time frame. Yes, imbalance here, imbalance here, imbalance here as well. So this between this week and this week, there's a huge imbalance, which price now has tested into, and if I believe it's hit 50% of that imbalance. So that's where we got that initial reaction. Now, will this initial reaction bring us to this imbalance? I believe so. It may even bring us to this point of interest, like this zone, that test of the zone, right? And then liquidity, and then continuation sell. It could, right? But I'd rather just put it in front of you guys so you guys have an awareness of, okay, that's what's possible, than you guys not knowing at all. So right here, we're going to see lower time frame what we can see and find as well. So going down to 30 minutes, what do we see? So 30 minutes right here. So price pumping and coming to this point of interest would make sense. Right here, we're seeing, areas where there's an imbalance right before that last up candle. I would not be surprised if price came into that zone to react before continuing to push down, because so far it's had a good run for itself to, okay, pause right here, run up. But all it needs is another major point of interest for the continuation sell. Continuation sell to potentially run into these lows, right? These lows like we were speaking of on the 1 hour. They're clear areas of point of interest. If I go on a 1 hour right now, we can see it in plain sight. In really plain sight. Let's go with just this right here. So we can really see this in plain sight where, okay, we have the imbalance here that we can get reaction from. We have here last down candle on the hourly. We can even take the 50% of it. So someone that's taking the buys, personally, this is what I'm gonna be looking at myself. I'm gonna set my alert for these zones, right? Last down candle for the up move. And I'm gonna be getting in from the 50% of the candle. That's about 38.70, right? And stop loss below the lows, right below the lows, and trading right into this imbalance. Now that's a beautiful risk reward. It's a 5-to-1 and plus. Now, if you were to just say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna just enter off of the opening price, just make sure I can get my foot in the door and I don't miss the trade, because sometimes we miss it by a few pips because we're too accurate. So now your stop will be below this low. your risk reward down cuts down by like half, like more or less. So you have a you have a 3-to-1 risk reward trade. You're risking about 20 points for 68 points. Where on the 5-to-1 setup, you're risking about 13 points for 75 points. When I say points, it just means, example here, 75 points is 752 pips, right? 752 pips, because we count the difference when it's indices. So possible buy from here, possible sell from up here. So now we have an imbalance above of it. And the same thing applies all over the board. It's very, very similar play. I wouldn't be surprised if prices decide to rally and just it went for the sprint, right? So that's why I would suggest setting alert, get reaction. If you don't see no reaction, it's a no-go area. Don't even participate in the markets. Sit it out, be patient. You're gonna get another chance, right? On the forex side of things, what I've been looking at a lot is GBP. I like to trade that a lot. I'm sure you guys know this as a pair that I trade week to week, back to back, like if it's nothing clockwork. I want to bring this to you guys' attention. So over here on a weekly time frame, we can see price came to pretty much sweep liquidity, right? From being in a huge distro. And I believe price is not done selling. To be honest, price is not done selling because we have for it to fully clear this liquidity, that's the point I'm seeing. I'm seeing it going to 1.56 for it to fully clear the liquidity that's here, if that's what it wants to do. But so far, the trend tells me that's what it wants to do. So I want to go on a daily time frame and see how can I participate now and take advantage of this matter, right? So now we're downtrending. So I'm looking for the last point of interest to continue. That's going to catch a retracement for me to continue selling, right? That was my thought process. So from even last week. So that's when I identified this last up candle before the down move, before this week has started. In the prior week, last week, we reacted multiple times off this zone. I dropped this in the chat, I'm pretty sure, right? So now what all I did was, okay, this is the last up candle for down move. I just took my trend line, I identified it as DIC. So now every time I look at the chart, I know I want price to react from this DIC, right? Because that's where price seems to be maintaining structure. This is where the last lower high was created. If we're to go past this, right, it means price is going to come sweep this liquidity, and then this will be the new point of interest either here or in here. But so far, the lower high structure is here. We got a lower low here. We got a structure maintaining. Actually, we got a new lower low. This is a new lower low here. Again, so price, we got an initial reaction. This is a new lower low got created now, and now this is a new lower high that's being formed. So now, following with this last up candle, we have another last up candle here on the daily. It's like a doji candle. Like we don't see it. Like if I zoom in, we don't really see it like a doji candle. But on the 4-hour, I'm sure it's still a candle. So let's go find out what I was seeing on the 4-hour, right? Let's go see what I was seeing on the 4-hour, so we can now take advantage of this. Right, so this is just a nice, really nice setup. 4-hour time frame, last up candle before the prior down movement. That's all I did. Last up candle, and I took 50% of it. So someone can just participate here, stop loss above the highs, pretty much like this. And you participate here, stop loss above your highs, right? About 30 pips to the floor, to the ground. Like I exited here. Right? I exited here. But if someone took it all the way to the floor, wonderful, congratulations to them. But that's what we call a beautiful setup. Now for this week, as we are right now, we got our last down candle here. And what happened? We got a peak up, price tested it. I'm just looking based on the 4-hour, last down, right? Last down candle. Like I'm walking us through it because sometimes that's really all it takes. Because once you see it, you're not gonna unsee it. You're not gonna unsee it whatsoever. So that's the 50% of the 4-hour candle. Let me just make sure I adjust it effectively. Perfect. That's the 50% of the 4-hour candle. But let's not forget that's the opening price. Anything that breaks above, right? And closes above a test in. Okay, we got 50% test, opening test. So this was ready to run, right? Already this was the clear indication. Came out the test. Structure break happened here, right? Structure break happened here. Once again, and price held. Price held, went all the way back up to this last previous candle here, right? Previous point of interest. I just believe this wick is probably a 2-hour candle. Let's go investigate that. If that's what happened. Yeah, this was a 2-hour last up candle here before the prior movement, and your stop loss would have been above this wick. And you could have caught that sell down, right? Whether it was on a 1 hour as well, you could have caught 1 hour perspective. That would have been a juicier play, to be honest, a much juicier play. Why do I say that? Simply because 1 hour play is pretty much you're entering within the wicks, right? You're entering within the same point of interest. Price will move sideways before it starts doing its drop. And what do we see here? Price moves sideways. You don't always have to catch the wick, but as soon as you see markets start moving accordingly to what you already see in the structure, a test back in the zone, like last up candle test, price rolled over, sold. And now seems price is coming back, but I believe we're just going to be playing in this zone till we break out of the zone. Now, given that if we see what happened last week where, okay, price came in, right? This happened last week. Price came and reacted initially, sold off, right? Sold off. And now we price opened this week, pulled up. We already sold, we already bought up from this point of interest, made it to this higher point of interest over here. Mind you, now when maybe we sold, we could see another buy happen tomorrow morning for the final sell to happen tomorrow. For this final sell to happen finally on what is it called? On Friday, right? Either Thursday evening or Friday London session, we could see GBP just keep selling down. But right now, the closest to where we are on an hourly time frame perspective, we're seeing this structure here. Like yes, you could decide to hold on. Let me zoom in. Oh yeah, you actually could last down candle here before the up move. You could actually play this. Yeah, you could. Wow, I'm just seeing this myself. You could actually play this. Okay, that's the move I already played this earlier. Yeah, that's the move I already played earlier. But price can decide to. Price has funny ways of playing itself in the market. Price could just really decide to come right back in. Give us a test right here on this area. Hold the zone. If this is the zone, this is like just keep in mind this is a 10 pip stop loss, so that's a fat lot size for you to take it all the way back to this imbalance bare minimum, right? That's about 140 pips bare minimum. And if it decides to go past it and reach into this point of interest right here, where you have the 4 hour, the daily, I would not be surprised because these are key areas in the market. And this is just liquidity. Like now at this point, if it goes above this is just clearing liquidity before it does a continuation to move structure. So these days I don't trade a lot of Forex pairs just because I'm very content with the ones that I'm already trading, and they're making it happen, right? You can play this thing like tic-tac-toe. And right here, down below, stop loss below this low. I'll take my word for it, just play it and then find out. So this is a 22 to 1 risk. Like if it comes down to here, this is like a 22 to 1 risk reward. It's a 9 pip stop loss. You might as well give it a 10 pip stop loss, but you don't have to. But I'm just letting you know. It's an 8 pip to 10 pip stop where you're gonna be needing. If you're taking it to this imbalance, that's a 19 to 1 risk reward. That's 158 pips. But if you're just taking it from this point, you're taking it all the way to this imbalance, you're gonna see a 7 to 1. If you're taking it to all the way to the daily, that's a 12 to 1. You get to choose. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You don't have to hold the trade. As long as I'm holding the trade, whenever you're satisfied, you can exit the trade at any time and secure your bag, because we're all about making money. We're all about securing the bag and preserving our capitals, right? So if I was to get stopped out, I would reassess if structure maintained itself. and then I'll participate in this move, making sure I'm risking 1%. And if this is really the move, like if that's really the move on a test of it, like what I mean by a test is I'm gonna just draw it up because some people don't realize that this happens all the time. Like it'll have that initial pull, right? And then it's gonna come back and like play with you a little bit, then boom, it gives you that test. When they give you that test, don't miss it. But if you do miss it, you still have another opportunity. Price will move. And let's not forget, no matter the strategy that you trade, right? You have a break of structure that happens, right? A break of structure. Your last ceiling becomes your new form of support. And you have your BOS, break of structure that happens. You can get a test there and a continuation. Test, continuation, test, continuation. And that's all your higher lows when you're buying. And it's the opposite when you're selling, right? Or just regardless of the strategy that you're trading, it's structure. Lower highs, lower like I mean higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher lows, higher high, and higher low and higher high. That's all it's all about when you're actually following the trend of an upwards momentum. If you want to get back in, you're gonna get in at these points each time. After the break, the test happens. Like it's not like it's really not a coincidence, but you have to go look in the chart, look at it in the past, for yourself, for you to start kind of believing that okay, that's actually what happens. Well, that's what I'm seeing on GBCAD. For the sell now, and for the sell, for the sell, for the sell, for the sell. Of course, the sell is going to resemble a little bit like this, right? From this level, stop loss relatively anywhere from 20. Like if you're just trying to just making sure when you get into the move, um, you're looking at a 20 to 25 pip stop loss, right? Drag it down all the way to the low. Just want to make sure you get into move. But once it gets there, like I mentioned, if you see price going sideways, just wait for a point of interest or just play off of the imbalance, right? I know one thing I know that's gonna play is this imbalance. Like, don't ask me how I know. I don't know when. It's just according to the strategy that I'm applying, um, following what I've learned in education. It just happens all the time, and especially when you start getting used to a pair, you kind of see them before they happen. Like it's weird. It's really weird. So beautiful imbalance here. So just anything into here would be nice. And now, if you would want to catch the sell, you can catch the sell to the end of at the end of this imbalance, or the 50% of this imbalance. What I mean by that, I'm showing an example. If you catch a sell of 50% of the imbalance, your stop loss would be the end of the imbalance, right? About 16 pip stop loss. Boom, bump it to the low. Personally, if there's a last up candle, I do not recommend you just playing this move. It'll be a waste of money. But I'm showing it to you because I'm sure you see it and you're wondering like, why aren't you doing that, right? But just be aware if you're buying it, that's going to be a nice TP opening price for 50%. You have a last up candle here. If I go on 30 minutes, I want to do like, I want to see something really quickly. So right here, a last, do I believe that's the best candle? That's interesting. GCAD. All right, so we're gonna keep it at 1 hour right here. Either this reaction or above with the 4 hours. And of course, I know you guys are wondering if you guys, what if it goes a little higher than the 2 hour, than the daily IC? Then get a position or wait for the position at a 4 hour IC, right? This position is just because I want to make sure I get in. And I got my foot in the door to secure the bag, right? But yeah, definitely that's really a lovely setup right here. Other than this, I'm not trading anything much else. I have the USD CAD here as well that I'm actively looking at too. I'm actively looking at USD CAD. I'm following up what's going on. And yes, looks like I'm looking at this at a very good time. Yeah, looks like I'm really looking at this at a very good time. So far we came into react there. Great. We go on daily, see what we see here. So daily time frame, so daily time frame. So wow, nice. This is beautiful. So when did I do this? Okay, yeah, a couple days ago. So daily last down candle from what I was looking at. So if I just go ahead and just delete this, I'll get you guys to understand what I was seeing. That's what's more important. Let me remove the eyes. So clarity now the chart. So you see, I see this. So structure, we're buying. We broke this structure down. Yeah, we broke this structure down here. Price came back. What did price do after we broke this structure? Price came back to test, right? And I was looking at this for a minute. I'm like, oh, this is the daily last down candle before the up move. What if price wants to, come back in here, test the 50% of this candle, and now go, right? And just keep going because the DXY is still gonna keep pumping, right? Because BTC is gonna keep going lower. Like DXY going up means BTC going lower, and which means USD CAD going higher, right? By default, it's like these are the correlations that go with it, that go together with it. So now on the last down candle here, I would have identified my with the help of my fibs or the gam box. What's my 50%? Now I'm gonna put the eyes back on so you guys kind of see my setup. Now that I've broken it down to you, and I actually marked this up last week, and it's actually playing out right now. Like it's crazy. It's really crazy. See, like I marked this up last week because I haven't looked at USD CAD really this week. I looked at maybe at the beginning of the week, right? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly. So last down candle here, that's the opening price, and that's the 50%. What I want is the 50%. Have we already gotten the opening and got a beautiful reaction? Yes, absolutely, we did. If you guys look at it right here on the opening price, which is this, we got already a nice reaction of about 50 pips. But now we're pretty much back at break even because price wants to absolutely go for 50% or potentially even lower. So now zoom into 4 hour. Let's zoom in what's going on here. 4 hour time frame. And I was looking at my fibs too, right? From this low point to the high point. Let me draw my fibs again because now they've actually completed the wave. Righty. So nice. This is nice, great structure. Wow. So as far as just maintaining this daily, like this last sprint that cleared out this liquidity, this entry that I have here is pretty valid. Really valid. This is sexy. I completely forgot about this setup. To be honest, guys, I really forgot about this. But this really looks nice. But I'm gonna adjust it now, given market conditions and whatnot. This looks really nice. It's promising. Someone already, like I probably already posted this. Given that that's marked up, I probably already posted this or spoke about it. But right here, that opening price shot up. I personally haven't participated yet, so I'll be looking to participate. But right here on this whole zone, this golden level. So the main reason why the golden level was identified was my fibs were a little lower. So let's just adjust this, right? So this whole zone here, 78.6, 78.6 all the way to like about 71.6 is the zone you want to be entering for this pair, right? Like it's the hot zone. It's really the hot zone. And the way I'm seeing that, the way I'm looking at this structure wise, this really looks good. 78.6, 886. I'll put my stop below, like right at the 886. I'm entering from there and put my stop right at the 886. Or just focus on getting in from the daily DIC. Remember we spoke about the daily point of interest, DIC. We're exactly on it. Stop loss is here. But what if it dips a little lower into, that DIC, right? And it brings me all the way down to, the 88.6 point. End of the day, it's nothing to panic about. It's wonderful. It's great news. I'm just going to put stop loss below right here. 26 pip stop. And you're still going to be able to run this. And when I mean run this, it doesn't really just end at you going past this. This is, if you want to hold this, go 32, you can hold this and go 32, right? But just for the sake of the explanation, this is easily a 9-1 risk reward. You can just day trade this, take it up, swing it, however you feel, and really make it happen. But most importantly, as soon as you're satisfied with your bag, take your money and run, right? If you're not sure about where to go about proper risk management, I highly recommend just using Nash Market. I'm not in no way affiliated with them, but on my YouTube channel, I really kind of just break it down. Um, I break it down as far as how most people should be really going about it using that. Let me just go ahead and pull this up for you guys on the channel here. How to take a trade using proper risk management on Swipecoin. If you guys are French, if you guys are French speakers and you guys are watching this, you guys are not sure. I did one in French, and also there's one in English as well, showing how to use proper risk management with Swipecoin and Nash Market all at the same time. So just take a look at that. It's going to be helpful. Personally, USD CAD, that's the one I want to see a buy from here. I'm very keen to the buy. Can it go lower? Of course it can. Like I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh well, no, we can't go lower than that. Oh, but according to structure, it should maintain and give us that buy. But if it doesn't, at the end of the day, we have point of interest right here on a 2-hour time frame, right? And I'm ready to snipe. if it doesn't snipe over there within that 500 to 800, I'm definitely ready to snipe it down here at 2700 whole level. And I'm excited about it. So that's a 2-hour point of interest. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see it again more visually. And you guys can just see like the trade is really is going to be a clean trade, like clean up, clean buy. If it breaks down below this is going to be the hot zone to not miss. So set alert for that 2700 level on this pair on USD CAD. I hope this is pretty much clear. That's all I have for tonight on it. I haven't really looked at any other pair, but just to zoom through pairs that I know most people love. GU, GU doing this thing, daily perspective. The same way I was looking at USD CAD, I was looking at GU the same way, right? So last up candle before the down move, right? So we reacted off the opening price. And mind you, ladies and gentlemen, that we have 4-hour point of interest right here. We have a 1-hour point of interest right here. Now, can we go deep into that candle? Of course we can, right? Like this candle engulfed. This could have been the last up candle, right? But we haven't broken down below and closed below this. So far we're still using this as a structure. We reacted once, but we could see price come back and touch it, right? And then roll over really nicely. But for that, zoom into the 4-hour time frame, see what's really going on, and just follow up with a marketplace. So marketplace reacted beautifully, right? You guys can see it reacted beautifully. Now, if I zoom into a lower time frame, you see here, let me just pull this in 4-hour. I would not be surprised if price made it, and this is a 1-hour, right? So just for the sake of you guys really just viewing it how I'm seeing it, price trading in balance here, working to this drop off. If it wants to, it can even go a little higher to get these imbalances that's here filled up, or completely just bring it to the 4-hour, right? Bringing it to the 4-hour, having to put stops above highs. And when I go into the 1-hour now, another view and perspective to it, we're now seeing GU, right? GU this way, right? So looking at this point of interest, this is like on a 1-hour, it's been tested. That up here has not been tested, but so far I'm really, really confident in these reactions, right? So let me go ahead and just point it out to you. This is my first time noticing this right here. Last up candle before the prior down movement. That's a 1-hour point of interest. That's probably gonna be like a 10 pip stop loss. Actually, it's a 20 pip stop. It's actually wait. I do. It's a 10 pip stop if you do 50%, right? If you enter from the opening and you put your stop loss at 50%, or on top there, right? So definitely look out for GU. And I'm sure Shadow's going to speak on this already in the chats. I'll look at this towards the morning time as well. If I put the these on as well if falls in line to what we want to see. So you want to look at it like this. Stop. You have that possibility of looking at it from that observation where okay, you enter in here, stop us above this high, great, phenomenal, right? Or you enter from the 50%. Preferably, I like the 50%, right? Stop above the high, you still have a 20 pip stop, which is still nice. You can go for 100 pips, that's a 5-1, or you can go for the whole 9 yards, which is where we want to go, all the way down to the floor. That's about 13-1. If price does not hold here and it decides to go higher, let me just clone this. Our next point of interest is gonna be looking for the daily, but we need to see it really hold the daily because, to be honest, I don't. If it brings it here, it's gonna just blow right past it, give us a wick into the 4-hour point of interest, which is up top here, and this is really what we actually need, right? If this happens, ooh, we about to eat. We about to eat. We about to eat proper, right? So, that's what I'm seeing right here on GPUSD. Similar to if I go on EU, similar plays happening across the board. Very similar plays. Looking for. Oh my God, Lord. It's I really I'm not a fan of coming to a setup and missing the setup. I believe what time was this? Yeah, yeah, I was clearly not available. I was clearly not available at that time. But EU for the longest time I've been waiting. I've been waiting for this last up candle to happen on a on a 30-minute perspective, right? To get the reaction on top. Finally, the reaction did happen. We finally got it. We finally got this EU point of interest reaction. Right now is looking like about like anybody who actually got this 6-1. I know some people probably got it because I'm not the only one trading smart money within our chats. A lot of people are as well. All right, so those that trade EU probably got this. I'm still waiting for this last down candle here on the EU potential reaction. It's going to be a temporary reaction though, just a pullback to keep selling on the EU on that point. But given that we already got that reaction for the sell, showing you that okay, price wants to sell down. At this point, I would just be looking for the continuation of the sell, right? Any pullbacks up that can aim towards us selling more on a 15-minute. And the way I'm looking at it right here, just from my view, point of interest here, tested. Looks like it's rolling. But over here we have another point of interest on a 15-minute. Keep your eyes peeled for it. Keep your eyes peeled for it. Keep your eyes peeled. That it? Yeah, that's it. I said all right. So definitely right here on the last up candle reaction there. Sell. I could really see that happening, right? I could really see that happening. But definitely set an alert. Don't just jump in just to jump in. Set an alert if you see the reaction. Go ahead and knock yourself out because this is nice setups, and you don't have to actually risk 15 pips. You can actually risk like maybe 5 pips if you enter that at the 50% of the candle. Right, so that's a 15-minute point of interest, right? But what about 50% of that interest, right? So that's 9 pip stop loss to this low, and mind you, that's not even where we want to go, right? We want to make it all the way down to this wick that's down here. So that's a 16-1 risk to reward trade if you're holding in for that 160 pips, right? That's just an awareness. Just had to bring that to you guys real quick. EU. I'm still very familiar with my New York pairs. I just recently haven't been trading them much. I've just been analyzing them, opposed to just trading them. So right here, current liquidity, and go after that. NU, I believe we're talking about is midweek. Here, NU, yeah. NU, I believe NU we're talking about it. Reaction here, 2-hour, yeah. NU reacted, kept buying. we held this wick. So pretty much that means A probably did what we wanted it to do. I'm not a big fan of AU. When it moves, it moves. Personally, I'm still sticking to the daily structure, right? We're still selling, so everything my bias is based off the daily. I just don't believe we're gonna go higher. Yes, we're holding here temporarily. Like I would love to see it just sell down and give me this buy to this point of interest. Like the best thing that could happen is for it comes down all the way here. It actually does what I wanted to do, but the market doesn't do what I wanted to do. It does what it wants to do. So if we could bring it right down here to this point of interest, I'll be able to buy up, from here, go all the way to the daily point of interest, and risking. That's about like I take the ruler all the time just to be sure, just to make sure we can check out together. That's we're not risking no more than about 10 pips. What are you talking about? 7 pips, 7 to 10 pips. So it's fun in that sense to be able to ride this up. Now, US oil, this is gonna be, I believe this is gonna be my last one before I check out the door. US oil, this is what it looks like. This looks really neat. I'm going on a daily time frame, so that I don't get nobody confused. So daily perspective, this is what I see. I always go on a daily. I see, okay, where are we? What's the market doing? So we're here. We're at the top. We've reacted already off of this last prior up. Yeah, price like, yeah, is that it? Yeah, that's it. So prior last up candle before the prior down movement, structure is maintained. Um, price could roll over, but at the same time, I want to be cautious because yes, we reacted there. We getting a nice like redistro, right? Um, like redistribution or reaccumulation as it is. So going for 4 hour time frame after identifying that point of interest, I'm just trading off of structure of what I'm seeing. So this is the opening price. So I put the opening price there and check. I want to see a pullback. So I'm going down to lower time frame to see what can I investigate for? So I investigated. Over here we have we've broken below this 107, but then drove right back up. So I'm going on the 1 hour now. We have a point of interest where it's okay. We have a last up candle for the down move, right? All we need is a test into this candle, and there's a nice sell-off, right? Now, do you gotta wait for it to come to 50%? No, you just gotta make sure you get your foot in the door, right? You can get your foot in the door so you don't miss the setup. This setup is gonna be a nasty setup. Like what I mean, pay your bank account for a while. It's kind of setup. Like I'll be honest, it's gonna be one of those. But this is that's what I'm seeing. Like according to what the market is displaying to us, that's what it has possibility of doing, right? So now if you're entering from the opening price, you don't have to have your stop loss that high. You can have your stop loss really at bare minimum to this, have a better risk reward, clone this, and then you can enter if you get stopped out at the open, right? You can now get the 50%. So you can get both. So after it gets this initial reaction, you get stopped out. You probably gonna lose 1 or 2% depending on what you leverage and what you risk. You could always, after you participate in this and you see that you're in profit, you're breaking even. What I mean by in profit is like, we were in profit. The market came back, it held structure, and now we're maintaining that structure down. So where you're selling into is here, and here every single time. Lower high, instead of what we were seeing earlier. So this, in the sense, this is really lucrative. I'd love to see a sell-off from here. If we could, if we break and close below this, I would just keep selling. To be honest, because we're reacting off of a daily point of interest. So if I'm on it, just for the sake of just reminding you, here about 30, right? So just be mindful of that. So that's what I'm seeing here in the market. I know the session now has gone for some time. I don't want to take up any more time on this. Hope everything was clear, and hope you guys got value to it. If you guys have any particular pair you guys want me to take a look at, I can take a look at it before I let go. But if not, I appreciate you guys for hopping on. Feel free to go watch this, rewatch this, get some education from it. I'm gonna repost this right onto my YouTube channel, so you guys can go ahead and rewatch this, see what you guys had missed, or look through any setup and see how I was viewing it, and go back and mark it up yourself. Because I believe once you mark up yourself, you make the chart your own. All right. So definitely go back, rewatch, and plug into Go Live. Right. Go Live is the most important thing you can plug into right now in this day and age. So I really appreciate everyone's time. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hopping on. I'll see you guys on the next session. Wealth Empire logging out.